Two sets of remains identified, two people yet to be named. Our 8 News Now investigators broke the news of a murder victim found in a barrel at Lake Mead almost 1 year ago.
So how close is the coroner's office to identifying who that man was, along with another set of remains found floating nearby? 8 News Now investigator David Charnes asked the coroner.
Do you think we're close in figuring out who these people are?
It would be very difficult to place a time frame on it.
Clark County Coroner Melanie Rouse is talking about the human remains found at Lake Mead her office has yet to identify. One, a murder victim discovered in a barrel in May. The second, a floating torso from July.
We view identification as a very important part of what we do, giving a name back to a decedent that we've recovered.
That process includes using all information available to figure out who these people are. Investigators here have pulled DNA samples from both sets of remains.
Is it fair to say that the DNA tests so far have turned up no match?
It is still being processed. So again, you're only as good as what you can compare to.
What is the difficulty in solving these cases?
The challenge in solving cases is that we're really only good at the information that exists for us to compare to.
Rouse says her office was able to identify 2 Lake Mead drowning victims discovered last year from missing persons reports and DNA.
Sometimes remains may never be able to be identified. Again, if the information doesn't exist for comparison, there's not a magic tool out there for us to just say this is who the person is.
Who this person is may be even more difficult to solve. As the 8 News Now investigators reported last year, the man is believed to have died in the early 1980s based on personal items found nearby. There was no national DNA crime database then.
We are working through the investigative process and following up on any available leads that we have.
As for solving these cases and all unidentified remains in her office's custody, Rouse says the more information, the better.
It's not too late to come forward and to try to make an identification.
There is no deadline to give the coroner or police any information. If you think one of these people is your loved one, you can file a missing persons case, or you can always call Metro Police. Outside the coroner's office, I'm David Charnes, 8 News Now.
As David mentioned, the coroner's office has identified 2 sets of skeletal remains discovered at Lake Mead last year. One is a 42-year-old Las Vegas man who drowned in 2002. Just last week, the office identified the second set as a 39-year-old man who died in 1974.